Why hello, it's me, Mr. Sasaki, and today is Facing the Demon. Note reading on the violin, alright? Specifically A major, alright? So this is the key and scale that we would use for Twinkle Twinkle all the way up to Perpetual Motion. Alright, and how are we going to read those notes and pitches? Alright, so here we go. Starting out with basics. If you already know how to read music, congratulations. This would serve as a quick review. If not, this is your crash course, okay? I'm trying to make this as simple as possible and also as focused towards playing in A major as possible. So here we go. Starting out with our staff. A music staff is composed of 5 horizontal lines going across, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? This, don't worry about this second set down here. That's another line of music that we don't need right now. So 5 horizontal lines across. Each line, and then space, line, space, line, space. Each one is what we would call like a step in a ladder or just a step in a staircase. Okay, so we can go up or down by space, line, space. All right, and that's sort of how our pitches are organized. If we go up the staircase, the pitches get higher. When we go down, and notes are depicted down here, they get lower. Okay. What we have here is the treble clef. You've seen this before, the treble clef. It's very pretty. It is synonymous with music. It's the most common clef that we see. It's the only clef that violinists use, right? So there's other clefs such as alto clef and bass clef. So viola and cello and bass. We're not worried about that. Violin only uses one clef, okay? Treble clef. And so it's a pretty clef. It looks kind of like a cursive S. What we need to know about it is that it swirls and it centers around this second line from the bottom. It goes boop, and that is the G line. Okay, so that this line is G. So what's important about that is that we can figure out anything. So if we're going above, A. If we're going below, F. So we just have to count up the musical alphabet up or down, and we can figure out any of the pitches for the lines and spaces, right? But let's get our general boundaries first. Okay, so here we are. I wrote out the open strings on the music staff, right? So we have G, D, A, and E. Up till now, we've only played on the A and E, so that's really what we're concerned about. So let's just talk about that. Okay, so we have A, second space from the bottom. Okay, E, top space. Anything that's going to fall from here, this second space from the bottom, up to the middle line, that's going to be first finger. Then up to the space here, second finger, up to the line, third finger. And then guess what? Either fourth finger or open E. Okay, and anything above that is the E string zone. So again, what's really important to know is from the second space from the bottom, all the way up to this second line to the top, A string zone. Anything from the top space above, E string zone. All right. Let's look at the general sort of chart of the lines and spaces. All right, lines. We have E, G, B, D, F, or every good boat does float. Okay, E, G, B, D, F, every good boat does float. For the spaces, really simple, F, A, C, E, or face. All right. The general rule that's really helpful when you're reading notes is that 0 and second finger, so open string and second finger, are always going to be space notes. Got that? And then any fingers 1 and 3, first and third finger, are going to be line notes. Okay? So let's get the scale back. Okay? And so here I have open strings in hollow notes here. So A and E. So we have those parameters that we saw in the other chart, right? A, second space in the bottom, E, top space. Okay? So what I want to show you is that there's 2 different ways to call the notes. Right? So below I had the letter names. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. Above I have just purely the finger numbers. Okay? So open 1, 2, 3. Open 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's different ways to call pitches for violin, and you know how to communicate what to play. I always like to use finger numbers. I know some teachers say, oh, you got to know the pitches. Yes, you do have to know the pitches, but if I'm doing A, C sharp, E, F sharp, E. Well, what does that mean on the violin, right? But does it make more sense to you if you do A, 2, E, 1, E, right? We need to know physically how to get that note to come out of the instrument. I don't, the pitches, yes, it's good to know in the end, but I really need to know mechanically how I'm going to get those pitches to come out of the violin. So that's why I let you use finger numbers, okay, and open string letters, okay? So A, I never say 0, I say A, E, all right? So, other things to know. We have 3 sharp signs. They look like hashtags, all right? Specifically, it's on the F line here. C sharp, space here, and floating above in the space, G sharp, okay? I don't want to get too much into it. This is the key and the key signature that we use for A major on the violin starting out. And thus we have, again, that F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. So when we come, it's C sharp, F sharp, and G sharp that are written there, okay? If you look at a piano, I'll say this. If you look at a piano keyboard, there's white keys, black keys, and they're not totally evenly spaced out. There's sets of 2 black keys and then sets of 3 black keys and then 2 and 3. It's uneven, all right? We're never going to have all naturals being our second finger where we know them, or sharps where we know them, or whatever. It just depends. Everything is uneven. So what we need to know is that our classic spacing, okay, on the violin, in A major, it's going to be A, 1, 2, 3, E, 1, 2, 3, okay? So that's going to be space, space, close, and if we use 4th finger, space again, okay? So that's going to be our spacing. Right? That's it, okay? Space, space, close, space. All right, so to get those pitches to happen and to mechanically do that, this is what the pitches will be called and labeled with sharps, all right? Don't worry so much about it. Just know that the C is sharp, F is sharp, and G is sharp in all of our pieces that we're playing from Twinkle all the way up to Perpetual Motion, okay? So we're gonna just go slowly from here. A, then 1, ooh, I'm gonna get up here, 1, then 2, C sharp, D, 3, then E string, 1 or F sharp, 2 or G sharp, 3 or A. Okay? So we just have to know that they all line up and there's different ways to call it. If I'm going to be singing and playing it, I'm not going to be thinking A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. No. A, 1, 2, 3, E, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, E, 3, 2, 1, A. So much easier. I know how to get those to happen. Easy. Okay. So, here, that was your crash course. Practice going up and down the scale. Kind of look at it. If you're in your Suzuki book, on my book, it's page 30. Here. A, 1, 2, 3, E, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, E, 3, 2, 1, A. And so I actually wrote it in myself. I don't know, it's hard to see there, but I wrote the numbers on top, the letters on the bottom. Let's just make sure that you can identify those notes and pitches and where they fall on the music staff. That's going to be the hard part. You really have to just memorize where they fall. And you're going to make mistakes, that's okay. But you just got to really be practicing. Another last tip, oh, here we go, is you could use this book, I Can Read Music by Joanne Martin. It's a Suzuki approved material. And yeah, so it's Joanne, Joanne, last name Martin, Martin, right? I Can Read Music for Violin, Volume 1, and I use this, and I can probably do a video on how I use this in my lessons as well, and teach you how I like to use it, and I think it works really well, and it's fun for my students too. All right, whew, that was a lot of information. Comment below if you have any questions or whatnot, but I will try to break it down a little bit more in future videos. All right, see you next time. Bye.